Hello again, guys. This is the third and final part. If you've stayed this long, you deserve a medal, frankly. This is the final part of my 2v2 battle, which is hopefully trying to show you how to take a hill. Okay, so where we left off before, which was my cavalry charging into his guys and making them form squares. Now, like I was saying, when a unit forms a square, it's immobile, and it lacks the necessary firepower to deal with an equally sized line infantry regiment who's in 3 lines deep and fires by line, if you know what I mean. And so basically, once they're in squares, you want to rush your guys in, shoot them. Now, if they stay there and fight, they're going to get killed, so you're going to run off and then you shoot them in the back. So simple, and it's so easy, and it works virtually every time. Again, I'm sending out bait. Here's my long range ahead of my line, and here comes Bismarck's cavalry to try and deal with them. Now, straight away, all I do is rush him back behind my line, and who's waiting for them? Yes, it's my line infantry again. Now, I don't put them into squares, and you may be wondering why. It's not because I wasn't paying any attention, it's just simply because there's not enough of the enemy cavalry to really do me any damage. And anyway, if I did form squares, there'd be a huge gap which they could exploit and hit at my long range. So keeping them pinned like this is the best way of defeating them. So when they're stuck in my line, I switch a unit of Freikorps round and then strike at them in the sides. Now, if any of you have noticed the sound, by the way, it's the Medieval 2 music I'm playing, because the Empire music, not only does it suck, I mean, if anyone knows Empire, they all know the Empire music sucks, and it does. It's simply because the sound keeps cutting off all the time, and it's very, very annoying. So, that's the end of Bismarck's cavalry, and we'll soon be attacking the hill itself. Right, so because Bismarck lost all of his long range, if you remember when I attacked him when he was further away from the hill, and I swept all my cavalry in around the front, and that eradicated all of his long range at once. That means he's had to shift troops from the other side, which has left a gap which Knight's now exploiting and coming up the hill to help me. On the far left, I'm sending my Freikorps forward as more bait to try and I'm moving forward, and then as soon as his guys come into range, I pull back. Now, if he wants to follow me, there's going to be a gap on the hill itself, and that's a gap I would have exploited, but he doesn't. He doesn't stay locked onto my units. Right, now that Knight's joined the attack, I feel confident enough to attack the hill itself now. With my long range peppering them, I'm going to advance 2 units straight up the hill. The hill itself will provide cover because most of his units can't shoot me unless they want to hit either each other or the hill itself and waste ammo. So that's what I'm doing, closing the distance. On the left again, you can see how I've pushed back the American units to form like a V, with or well, not a V, like the half side of a hexagon or a pentagon or something. A hexagon actually. And so that sort of formation leaves a lot of vulnerabilities. The corners especially are the areas where you want to exploit if an enemy forms this sort of formation. Okay, so I'm taking out the units which I can actually hit, because the hill itself is protecting a lot of them, but it's also protecting me. So as a lot of his units are greatly depleted, I'm taking them out before I hit his main units. As you can see, oh, here we go. An American unit's come charging down and charge into an enemy American unit. So it's an American dark side unit, and has attacked one of Knight's good guys. So I don't know how on earth they tell each other apart in those sort of engagements, but well, I didn't really stop to ask. I just attacked them myself. So when Knight's units routed, I charge into them with my Prussian units, and hopefully they can tell them apart. And as you can see, when the American unit charged down, there was a huge gap in the hill itself, and that's exactly what I wanted then. So now there's a huge gap. There's no continuous line anymore. So I rush a line infantry through. Why? Not to attack the main body. Oh no! It's to isolate the 2 units that were forming the right flank. And like I've done virtually this whole battle, is to isolate a unit one at a time and destroy it. Now Bismarck realises he can't get past me anymore, so he charges them into melee, into my guys as well. The Archduke has 1 unit isolated on this flank, which I'll soon wipe out. And seeing a gap and seeing some long range for me to kill, I send my cavalry through through the tiny gap and smash into the enemy's long rifle. No, I said Prussian Jaegers, isn't it? Yeah, the Prussian Jaegers. As you can see, the American unit attacked the other American unit, and then attacked me. Got completely destroyed by a massive firepower. Okay, and now just gonna finish off this American unit here. Soon be dead. When that's done, I can then help Knight focus on the main blob of enemies, who are now completely isolated and no room to maneuver. That's a thing when you take a hill and you sit there, like in any battle where you sit still, you lack maneuverability, and maneuverability is better in these sort of battles than just high ground, frankly. Maneuverability allows you to exploit weaknesses, and it allows you to flank, and it allows you to isolate units and destroy them piecemeal, as I'm showing here, really. Again, you can see the American unit is now routed. That's the one that I isolated. And the Prussian unit, who's actually facing the wrong way, that will soon be destroyed as well. Okay, so basically I'm just going to send my cavalry in here to help Knight out. This is just a waste of my cavalry now. I really shouldn't have done this, it was just pointless. I was just trying to see if I could see any units which were isolated. As you can see, there's a Prussian line in, they're facing the wrong way. I'm not particularly bothered by that. I'm just going to shoot them in the back, like any true German would. No, that's not right. Anyway, when I get my rest of my army up, I'm going to now slowly form a noose with Knight around the remaining units. Now the Prussian guy has a lot of what are they called? Lifeguard, I think. It's a new German elite unit. They're very, very good in melee, and they're very accurate, and yeah, that's basically it. And I got a nice hat. That's really about it. But apart from that, they're too expensive, and to be honest, if you gang up on them, they quite easily get destroyed. Okay, so now their left flank has totally, right flank has totally collapsed. I've now formed a noose, and I'm now closing in, and I'm going to kill everyone basically. Okay, you can see a glitch here in platoon firing, where look, they're all aiming. They're thinking, right, okay, is someone going to fire? Oh, no one's going to fire. Okay, we're all just going to stand there, are we? and they're just being shot at from 3 different sides and not returning any fire at all. So, yeah, a lot of people seem to like platoon firing, but I don't. I prefer line firing. It's much more devastating because you fire about 50 rounds or however many you got in the front line. They all fire at once. While in platoon, they fire like in threes, and the overall damage is quite bad. Anyway, that's basically it then. When my guys come back off the left, that routes the rest of the Prussian line infantry and those funny hat men, and they all run off away from the hill which they tried so valiantly to defend. Anyway, that was definitely a good game to the Archduke and Bismarck AU. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you watched all 3 parts. If you didn't, don't worry. And I hope you learnt something from those battles. If you didn't, don't worry either. But that was virtually the ideal way of taking that damned hill on the map. Anyway, until next time.